Greetings to all my 10th grade children. I welcome you all to the history class today for the second lesson. I hope you all are fine. I welcome you all to the Z Learning platform. Welcome. Today let's see the topic, subtopic French Indochina, in that rise of anti-colonialism. Okay, so here French is occupying the Indochina regions, that is today's Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam are the areas known as Indochina, and these areas were occupied by French after the World War I, and it was under the control of France. So what is happening is, due to this, they were really finding it very dissatisfaction. Okay, so that created a lot many problems, and that created nationalism, rise of nationalism, and in turn they did anti-colonialism. Because French was occupying them, it was colonizing this Indochina area. So what is happening is, finally they started revolting against France, so that created anti-colonialism. So here Indochina, there was discontent with the French occupation. Occupation in the sense occupying, okay, that is capturing the regions of Indochina, not the other occupation. Okay, you have to understand the term here, and it was in the year 1887. During this World War I, Indochinese fought in French, returned with knowledge of how French fought in the war. They understood how French was really struggling, and these colonized areas were providing, that is manual resource, okay, human resource, and the other economical resources also for the France to fight in the war. But they were really struggling, and finally they started creating anti-colonialism. So they had a knowledge of how to revolt, how to rebel against the ruling party, that is ruling government, and they started revolting against France. So wealth of Indochina was benefiting only the colonial powers, and it was not benefiting the native people. So that was really creating a great dissatisfaction among the people, that is the native people of Indochina. So they had to be released from the powers of the colonial, that is this colonized people, France colonizing Indochina. So they want to be released from them. So automatically they started revolting against them. So this is the thing said in the topic rise of anti-colonialism. We'll see in the next slide. Emergence of Vietnam. Vietnam Nationalist Party was a mainstream political party in Indochina. You saw one among the Indochina area is Vietnam. Okay, so Vietnam had a nationalist party called Vietnam Nationalist Party, and it was a very strong, powerful one. Okay, so in the Indochina area, it was a very powerful one, and this was formed in 1927. It was mostly, the members of the party were wealthy and middle class population. Wealthy and the middle class population in the sense, there is enough amount of economic resource also from the wealthy part, and there is a amount of the members, that is party is more when you compare, when middle class population is also there. That means it is labor party, that is labor group of people, working group of people. So working class is also there. So the equal amount of working people also is there, so it will be very stronger also. 1929, Vietnamese soldiers failed to attempt to kill French Governor General. So what they did is, they want to revolt against them. So what they did is, they want to kill the French governor. They attempted, they even planned to assassinate him, but it was turned to failure. So it was not so successful, and revolt by communists crushed by white terror. Okay, there was a system called white terror in the country, and that was the meaning of white terror is revolt by communist people. Okay, the communist people, communism is found in China, and this communism, those who follow communism are called as communists. Okay, so these communist people were revolting against this France, that is the colonial power, France, and they were fighting against it. So that is called white terror. And when Germany defeated France, Ho Chi Minh entered Vietnam. So Ho Chi Minh, another leader, he entered Vietnam when when Germany defeated France. So he found France faced failure in the war, and what he did is Ho Chi Minh came into the power. So he wanted to use the nationalism in the time period. So January 1941 he entered and organized the League for Independence of Vietnam, or Viet Minh. Like we fought for independence of India, the same way this was the person, that is Ho Chi Minh was the result for the independence of Vietnam. He made the people to be aware, to revolt against the government and to fight for the independence of their nation. So finally it was successful. Okay, we'll just see what is decolonization in the next slide. It's a small kind of a definition. Decolonization is the process through which colonial powers transferred institutional and legal control over their colonies to the indigenous nationalist governments. Nothing but the colonial powers, what they did is actually they are grabbing our powers and they become the rulers of our country. Yes, but later what they do is they'll transfer that power to the nationalist governments. Nationalist governments means our own country, that is the country, the people who stand as leaders in the country. They will get that power. They get the transfer of the power. What are the powers? Is institutional and legal control. Okay, institutional is it's a kind of like parliament or Lok Sabha, whatever it is. Yes, institution, and legal control is legally judicial powers everything we getting. So that powers, when it is transferred to the nationalist governments, it is called decolonization. Understood? Now let's see about Ho Chi Minh. We saw that Ho Chi Minh was fighting for, or struggling for the independence of Vietnam. Yes, let's see about him. Okay, Ho Chi Minh was born in 1890 till 1980. Was living till 1969. He was born in the place called Tong King. Okay, very interesting name. When Ho Chi Minh was 21, he went to Europe after working as a cook in a London hotel. Okay, so people in the previous slides, that is previous classes I have said, when people go overseas, they get some idea of the knowledge as how to become a leader, that in the sense to create a nationalism, feeling of nationalism, to create idealistic or socialistic views in the country of their own. Okay, or to revolt against them, to be rebellion against the colonialism, everything. Okay, so in the same way, Ho Chi Minh was not working, or he was not completely in his own hometown or the country. He was working for some time in the London hotel. So he gets an idea as how much his country has been suffering, and he got a motivation to do something for the country. So in the Paris Peace Conference, he lobbied for the independence of Vietnam. So from there he started sowing the seeds for the independence. His articles in newspapers, and especially the pamphlet, that is French Colonialism on Trial, made him well known as a Vietnam nationalist. So you can understand that from here. Okay, only when he went outside, he got enough knowledge as how to fight for the independence of his nation, and he was well known as a Vietnam nationalist. In 1921, he became a founder member of the French Communist Party. Okay, 2 years later, he went to Moscow and learned revolutionary techniques. Again, he is moving to another place. This migration again adds him more knowledge, or gives him more knowledge how to become a revolutionary, or how to improve his revolutionary thoughts. Okay. In 1925, he founded the Revolutionary Youth Movement. So he is becoming a great person, and this person was able to bring out the independence in Vietnam. Now next, see about the India's nationalism in Indian movement. Okay, decolonization in India. Let's see how it is. Diarchy in provinces. Diarchy in provinces means, di means two. Two people ruling. Okay, two rulers. Okay, let's see, or the two kind of system. In a kind of a ruling system, two nationalist peoples are being involved. So partially British and partially Indians were there in the ruling system. Let's see how it is. And decolonization process started in India with launch of Swadeshi movement. So we in India also, after the World War, we too had this decolonization in our motherland. Okay, so how was it started is only because of the Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement means promoting more and more of the products and the goods or the production of our motherland, or the or the people who creates or who produces things in our own land, that is given more importance, or that is being brought into the markets, that will be bought by the local people or the natives. Okay, so they are not going to get the goods from the production from the Britishers. That is not encouraged in the markets of market of India, that is Indian markets. So that is called Swadeshi movement. 1919 Government of India Act was passed. It's a very important year and the important act. Okay, you have to learn it. It's very important. Introduced diarchy. Government of India, it was introducing diarchy for elected provincial assemblies as well as for Indian ministers. Elected provincial assemblies means Britishers, and for the Indian ministers. So some people in the constituency, okay, half will be Britishers and half will be Indian ministers, and this was rejected by Indian National Congress because they are not standing as favorable for the diarchy, because they are not either we should be ruling or you should be ruling. It's not going to be together with you people, because we want you to get out of the country, because we want decolonization, like that they are saying. Okay, that's what they. The next slide you can see. Lack of measures to industrialize India. Lack of measures, industrialize. It's again the Indian markets, the production of Indian goods, everything. So let's see, no change in colonial economic policy. So again, because this economic, that is provincial leaders are still there in the ruling system. So when they are still there in the ruling system, they are not going to bring any change in the colonial economic policy. So it's going to be a really difficult way, because what they will do is they will promote British productions and they will suppress Indian market goods. Okay, so that is going to happen here. They will create rules and regulations favorable for the British goods, and they will create an unfavorable condition for the Indian. So all the normal working labor people will be affected in India. So that is the thing will be as a result. So it's a very great negative thing for us. Support was only in the form of technical advice and education and establishment of pioneer factories in new industries. So what they are doing is, Indians are behind in the technical advice. Okay, they are all traditional. They are all, what to say is, a very simple way of living. But here they started giving more importance to technical advice. So they are getting backward. Education also, we too were backward in the education. That is all in the Vedic system or in the Gurukula system. That kind of a system we were having. An establishment of pioneer factories. Factories also we were having only cottage industries. That's not having a very hi-fi techniques and machines and everything. Okay, so our factories were getting a low rating in this competition and in new industries also. So automatically they supported only these areas, and Britishers were getting more favorable in that. British enterprises opposed this policy. British enterprises, that is, we were standing against this colonial, that is economic policy, but they were not standing support, because they want their own economic policy to be in action in the Indian markets. Okay, so they were standing against this. So this is the thing in the industrialized India. The next slide you can see the Great Depression, impact of depression on Indian agriculture. Previous classes we saw depression in different other countries, various other countries. And today we are going to see the depression in India. So the Great Depression was a great blow to the Indian agriculture. Basic or the major occupation is agriculture. India is well known to be a land of cultivation. Okay, so agriculture, and that agricultural products is called as the manufacturing sector. Okay, so this was a great drawback for this Great Depression, created a great problem to the agriculture sector. Value of farm produce decline, rent to be paid by peasants remain unchanged. What is happening is, automatically what is happening is production comes down. Okay, production comes down, but the peasants who work as laborers in the land have to pay the same amount of rent to the owners, okay, to the zamindars or the landowners. So again they are being affected, and this created a great drawback to the Indian farmers. Great fall in prices, and that time period most of them will be cottage workers and the farmers only. Okay, great fall in prices. Automatically prices will come down. So that's what I said. Indian markets will go down and British products will be going in hike. Prompted Indian nationalists to demand protection for the internal economy. So what is happening automatically? Those who take interest in our own country, that is our leaders, what they did is they stood as the nationalists and they started to improve the internal economy. So that's the thing about impact of depression on Indian agriculture. The next point in the next slide, Government of India Act 1935. Let's see a short glimpse on the Government of India Act. You can see how they are signing, the people those were involved in the Government of India Acts, the signing of the act. Okay, this act provided greater power to the local governments and introduction of direct elections. Okay, in this act what they decided is they have to provide a greater power and they are going to include the local governments in the sense Indians. Okay, Indians to be introduced there. You can see all the white people are there, but rarely only few Indians will be. That too they will be taking, they themselves will decide not to the higher positions, to the lower ranks they will place Indians and the higher positions they will place white people. Okay, so this is called diarchy. This diarchy is not favorable actually. This is completely partiality. Okay, so that's what they were standing out against it. Who was Indian National Congress was standing against it. Now 1937 elections, Congress won the decision. That is, they want to abolish diarchy and they want to have Indians or a single ruling system in the country. So decision of Britain to involve India in Second World War. Again what they are doing is they want to amass a great amount of wealth or the resource or the human workers or the laborers as soldiers for the Second World War, the Britain, so that they can have a very good force behind them. Okay, again they are deciding to have Indians also, include Indians there, but without consulting Congress, because Congress is a ruling party in India. But now they are not consulting them. So without consulting them, they are doing it. So what they are doing is they absolutely resign from the parliamentary. Okay, so when they resign from the parliamentary, they are not able to do anything. If we are resigned, when our leaders resign from the ruling session, what we will do? We will not follow the other people. Okay, automatically it became a flop to the Britishers. Hope you understood today's topic about the Great Depression in India and the other topics. Yes. Thank you. Have a nice day.